What's your opinion on Sundown SALT series amplifiers? So they are not bad amplifiers. They are very overbuilt in terms of the current capabilities across the output section and the power supply. They're using good modern MOSFETs. The architecture is old though. So they're basically a very old circuit design, but with like high power modern MOSFETs kind of thrown in there. And the circuits are not particularly well optimized. They're not like a super optimized drive circuit. It's kind of using older architecture with new MOSFETs. It's a bit of a mishmash. But they do work well. They do make a ton of power, and they're very dynamic, and they do, you know, they do what they're supposed to do. However, because they are an older architecture, the reliability isn't quite what it could be if it was a modern architecture. There's no like health check mode on startup, and when they do fail, they fail catastrophically. So if you've got a SALT amp, just pray to the heavens above that it doesn't fail and it doesn't blow, because if it does, you're looking at a very expensive repair bill. Whereas with a more modern amplifier, even that's maybe not technically quite as headroomed and as technically good and beefed up, if it did fail, then especially with one with a health check mode on startup, you would be looking at a way cheaper repair bill, much easier and cheaper repair. So yeah, it's and also the SALT amplifiers are so expensive. I almost can't recommend them just because of how unbelievably expensive they are for the power. When you're looking at other brands that you may or may not consider as good, you might think, oh, this isn't as good as an amplifier. Yeah, but you could buy flipping 3 of them for the same price as a SALT. So yeah, I'm not saying they're bad amplifiers, they're great, but I just don't think they make sense for the average bass head to consider. They're expensive, and you're not even getting a bespoke circuit design. Like I love Jacob, I love what he's doing, I love the R&D he does on his subs. I think his subs are fantastic. I think that he's really putting a lot of, you know, they are bespoke subs. You're not going to buy a Sundown subwoofer anywhere else. It is a Sundown subwoofer coming from Sundown, designed by Sundown. The amps are not the same like that. Taramps are Taramps amplifiers, they're bespoke. Alpine are Alpine amplifiers, they're bespoke. Well, all the Brazilian brands are bespoke for their company. You know, Pioneer are bespoke. Alpine, JBL are bespoke, pretty much, most of them. Audison are bespoke. Helix, Focal, most of them are bespoke. So those will carry a higher price because you're paying for all of the R&D that went into designing that board from scratch. Whereas the SALT amplifiers, they're not a board designed from scratch. You can get the same circuit pretty much in a SALT from you know, other brands that are using the same basic layout from the same factory.